The head of the European Union, Ursula von der Leyen, today went to Slovenia to offer EU support after some devastating floods there. The aid includes more than 100 million euros from the EU's Solidarity Fund. Our reporter, Rosie Birchard, she sent us this report from Northern Slovenia, where communities are coming together to slowly start rebuilding.
The force of nature is on full display here in Prevalje. Homes swallowed up by the river, crossings crushed by floodwater.
It's catastrophic. Some special pipes have been torn from the bridges that were destroyed here, and now 20,000 people have no access to running water.
But the force of Slovenian solidarity is on show too. Volunteers are turning up here daily to help with repairs.
This is what gives you hope that things can get better, that we can move forward and people can slowly return to their normal lives.
An hour's drive away, Red Cross staff are also working overtime, collecting and sending off donations to the worst-hit towns.
They need tools. We put in some boots for work and a box of gloves, working gloves, and for cleaning, and lots of other supplies.
And this is all donated by people who are not from flood-affected regions, right?
Yes, this is from generosity of people.
And they keep showing up. With a population of 2 million, we're told almost everyone in Slovenia knows someone in need.
We like to help each other, especially I have a lot of friends, so I'm also very emotional about their unfortunate.
The European Union has announced long-term solidarity funding for the flood-ravaged nation and material support from member states in the meantime.
Europe stands by your side. We were with you in the first days, immediately with the material that was needed. It is the mobile bridges, the excavators, the helicopters, and the technical team and the crews. And of course we will stay as long as it is necessary.
But whole towns remain cut off, and as the scale of the damage grows clear, the cost of reconstruction can only climb higher. For now, Slovenia is still in emergency mode.
Well, I'm joined now by our correspondent, Rosie Birchard. She is in Slovenia tonight. Rosie, we heard there from Ursula von der Leyen, help to Slovenia right now is priority number one. Talk to me about exactly how the EU is helping Slovenia.
Well, Ursula von der Leyen came first with a message of thanks to those volunteers, some of them who we saw in that report, who she said have brought hope where there was only mud. And Brent, there was so much mud. I was in people's houses where there was dirt up to the ceiling in the bottom floor, and I saw neighbours literally draining each other's houses of buckets of mud. But she also came, she said, bearing hope with that 100 million euros of solidarity funding this year and a potential 300 million further in next year. She also spoke about trying to use existing pillars within the European Union budget to try and get a bit more flexibility for Slovenia. That will entail some bureaucratic burden. It will mean Slovenia has to apply, and of course the government has plenty to get on with here. But she said she was really saying, coming to Slovenia, telling Slovenians that the EU is by its side.
Rosie, you're talking about the mud. We just want to let our viewers know, last Friday in Slovenia, within 24 hours, I was reading, they had at least a month, if not more, worth of rain fall on the country. I mean, the rivers, they could not handle it. I know you have been around the country today. Talk to me about the situation on the ground. What have you seen beyond the mud?
Well, beyond the mud, there is desperation, but there's also solidarity on the side of people who are really terribly impacted. I mean, there are towns which are really basically entirely cut off. In order to reach some of the places that we visited, we had to have a military escort to go along very precarious roads. On the side of them were downed power lines, collapsed bridges. And then when we got there, people's houses basically destroyed. And we spoke to one carpenter. All of his tools and the furniture that he'd made made had been destroyed, and he said he simply doesn't know when he'll work again. The army has been drafted in, airdropping supplies in, particularly fresh water, and that is a real issue at the moment because, as we saw in that report, there are thousands without access to running water. So that's volunteers are helping with donations, ordinary Slovenian citizens showing up with bottled water to try and get that into those zones that are most at need. Now, while there's really no shortage of people showing up to help, putting on their boots, getting out a spade and ready to dig and help neighbours or help people they really don't know, the situation still, I have to say, from what I've seen, remains pretty dire on the ground.
Yeah, the images there are just very disturbing. Rosie Birchard reporting tonight from Ljubljana on the worst flooding in the history of Slovenia. Rosie, thank you.